Now, I'm going to talk about another topic about another about MMA is not a martial art, but this time I'm going to make that, I'm going to address this stuff. It's very important to know that call it UFC, means Ultimate Fighting Champion, call it cage fighting, call it mixed martial sport, or call it mixed combat sport. Do not call it instead of mixed martial arts. Okay? Because I get pretty irritated when they call this stuff mixed martial arts. Literally is a sport. It's a combat sport. So instead, just call it mixed combat sport. It is way better to label that than call it mixed martial arts. Okay? Because reason why is, first thing first, we're going to break it down. You remember the Ultimate Fighting Championship back in early 80s. I'm sorry, late 80s, early 90s. Ultimate Fighting Championship literally is a no-holds-barred match. Nothing to do with no-holds-barred match, another thing that doesn't make no sense. No eye gouge, no biting, none of this. That to me doesn't make no sense. It's like telling lions not to bite when you gotta defend yourself, or tell the woman not to scream when she got raped, or tell the kung fu practitioner not to use finger in the eye. It doesn't make no sense. Like, animals have a natural instinct to defend themselves any means necessary. And just World Ultimate Fighting Championship alone, it's fine, it's cool. They don't call it mixed martial arts back then, Even though martial arts practitioners could join that, we know the fact that don't mean that they're martial artists. They're just a fighter. Okay? Now, later they call it mixed martial arts. It's like, it doesn't look like a martial arts to me. Early on I saw it doesn't look like a martial arts to me. What it looks like is just combat sports in general. And that's what UFC begins from. Late 1980s, early 1990s. Now we got Pride FC. I'm okay to call with that too. Mixed martial sport, it's cool to call that. Proper label you should use. And also, mixed combat sport is a proper label you use. You could choose that label as being said with that. But remember, key is you gotta eliminate that word martial arts. Don't call this stuff martial arts. Because once again, like I talked about the other video, you could check my other video yourself. See what the meaning of martial arts is. Okay? But once again, do not call it martial arts if it's a combat sport. Now let's take an example. You know the fact that, do you see boxing call itself martial arts? No. Boxing, they call it boxing. It's nothing to do with martial arts. Is it close to it? Yes, it is. Do martial arts practitioners integrate the boxing with the martial arts skills? Yes. That's how Bruce Lee did. That don't mean he's a boxer. Bruce Lee is a martial artist. In your own eyes, Bruce Lee is a martial artist. But boxing, it's not the martial arts. So don't call that martial art. Boxing a martial art. Wrestling is not a martial art. You know the fact it's not a martial art. And nothing to do with martial arts. You don't say wrestling is a martial arts. I don't hear nobody hear that. Muay Thai. If people say Muay Thai is a martial arts. Literally, Muay Thai is not a martial arts. I'll go talk about this in the other video about Muay Thai versus Muay Buan. or something like that. Muay Brawang versus Muay Thai. Because Muay Thai is not a martial arts. Muay Thai is a combat sport. It's a kickboxing. Literally, it is a kickboxing. Now, kickboxing, you know, it's not a martial art. Even though they mix together with the Western boxing punches and the Asian martial arts kicking, but yet, literally, kickboxing is not a martial art. Sansao, what Kung Lee compete in, that's not a martial art. Even though it's Chinese, but still it's not a martial art. Now, Taekwondo. I'll go talk about this other video, the original Taekwondo versus the Olympic Taekwondo. That's not too different than the Muay Brawang versus Muay Thai. Even that, they have beautiful kicks. Kicks are so beautiful, one of them. And as in sport, but yet, it's not a martial art. Olympic style karate, they have good versatile techniques. They have the punches, they have kicks, takedowns, but still, it's not the martial art. Now, karate point sparring, it's not a martial art. I'm going to talk about this, all of it there is another video. It's literally a martial sport or combat sport. Now, I'll go tell you a history of that. Like, literally, if you look at all the combat sports I'm talking about, come from the originality. Like, for example, you guys know the fact about Muay Brawang and Muay Thai. Muay Brawang's original. It's real martial arts. I'll go talk about the other video. Muay Thai is not. It's a sport. Do not call it sport and martial arts. The reason why I say that stuff, because there's far too many rules, far too many limitations. And that's part of the reason why it's not a martial art. It's a combat sport. Now, you don't want to call that stuff. Okay, so the reason why I speak about this, because I care about martial arts. I have passion for that. And what in the mix, like, I don't want to call this MMA anymore as the mixed martial arts. Once again, I call this stuff mixed combat sport. That's literally how I go call it. What they have in mixed combat sport, they have is boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, even karate, and Taekwondo. They're all like, I'm talking about the sports type. And literally, it's not a martial art. So that's why I'm calling a mixed combat sport from now on, once again. Because that way, it could open people's eyes. And you know what I mean with that. And I'll go be famous for, in YouTube, be calling mixed combat sport. From now on. I'll go be saying to everybody from now on, mixed combat sport. You mean mixed combat sport. If they told me mixed martial arts, you mean mixed combat sport. It's MCS, mixed combat sport. Don't call it mixed martial arts. Don't call it MMA. Because it's not the way you use a proper labor. And yeah. Another reason why I don't call it mixed combat sport, because mixed martial arts, call it mixed combat sport instead. If they go wear spandex underwear, do that. Or if you go wear a Speedo, do that. If you go wear board shorts, like relative to real life, do that. And there's another thing too. It depends on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu I'm talking about. Is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for more self-defense? As far as women and stuff, I'll go talk about another video. I recommend that. But as far as a sport, it's not a martial art. There's far limitations out here too. Sports has too many rules, limitation to the art, to the craft. Once again, do not call it martial art. So, it's a combat sport. But yet, mixed combat sport is not safe as a martial art. I'm talking about real martial arts. I don't talk about phony martial arts. I'm talking about real martial arts. Combat sport is not, mixed combat sport is not safe as a real martial arts. Real martial arts is 10 times safer. Here's another thing why I don't like to call it martial art, because as a mixed combat sport, they do a lot of irresponsible way of sparring. I forgot to tell you guys. They do a lot of irresponsible way of sparring with huge ego, huge pride, and huge competitiveness. Okay, I'll be talking about sparring in other videos too, because I got a lot to say about that. So once again, if you're with me, just or talk to me directly. But remember, do not call it mixed martial art. Call it mixed combat sport or mixed martial sport. Either one, I'm cool with that. No matter what you prefer, you call it UFC, cage fighting, mixed martial sport, mixed combat sport. I don't care. Don't call it mixed martial art or MMA. Okay? So, I'm speaking about this because I do not want to conflict the people. I know label is already used and been too strong. But our goal here to change the label is MMA must go away. So they call it mixed combat sport. Period.